Good evening. Welcome to the third installment of the Clean Christian Joke series. First one's called The Limo. So the Pope was about to make one of his yearly trips, and his driver had finished putting all of his luggage in the back of the limo, and he noticed the Pope was still standing there on the sidewalk. So he said, "Your Eminence, go ahead and take your seat." And the Pope said, "Well, you know they never let me drive at the Vatican. I was hoping maybe you'd let me drive to the airport." And the driver said, "Oh, no, I couldn't do that. I'd lose my job, and you'd have to take care of my family." The Pope really wanted to drive. He said, "Well, there may be a little something extra in it for you." So reluctantly, the driver agreed, and he got in the back seat and he let the Pope drive. Almost immediately, he regretted his decision because the Pope hit the freeway, and he was up to 150 miles an hour almost instantly, just terrible speeding. They got pulled over, of course. So the Pope had gotten the registration and rolled his window down. The police officer, gets out of his car. He walks up to the limo. He takes one look at the driver, and he goes back and gets in his car, gets on the radio, and he says, "I need to speak to the chief." The chief comes on the radio at the station. He says, "Go ahead." And the cop says, "Well, I pulled somebody over speeding on the freeway, going 150 miles an hour." The chief said, "That's great. Give him a ticket." And the officer said, I can't do that." He goes, This is somebody really big." The chief said, "Well, that's great. Even more reason to give him a ticket." And the officer says, I don't know." The chief says, "Who you got there, the mayor?" The officer says, "No, I think it might be bigger than that." And the chief says, "Well, who is it, the governor?" He goes, "No." The officer says back, "That's bigger than that. I think it may be God himself." The chief says, "What? What in the world makes you think it's God?" And the officer says, "Well, he's got the Pope for a limo driver." So there's that one. The second joke is called The Prayer. And it's a little girl named Mary was late for Sunday school. So she was running down the street, and as she was running, she started to pray, "God, please don't let me be late. God, please don't let me be late." And about that time, man, her foot hit the curb, and she fell over the hill and just tumbled down the hill, head over her feet, and tore her dress up and skinned her knees. And as she hit the bottom, she got up and brushed herself off and started running again. And she started praying again. She said, "God, please don't let me be late. But you don't have to push me either." And the third joke is called The Golf Game. And Jesus, Moses, and another guy were playing golf. Moses drew back his golf club and swung it as hard as he could and sent that ball flying into the air. The ball landed and was rolling straight for a little pond. So Moses held his golf club in the air, the pond parted, and the ball rolled safely through. So Jesus came up next. He swung, man. He whacked that ball as hard as he could, and it started flying through the air. And the ball was going right straight for the same pond, and it landed, stopped just above the water, and just sort of hovered there. Jesus walked over, just walked right on the water, walked right across the pond, tapped the ball back onto the green. The old man came up next. He just kind of recklessly whacked the ball, and it flew out of the golf park and hit a moving car, and flew up on top of a building and rolled down into the gutter, rolled across the gutter down the drain pipe, shot out of the drain pipe, hit a tree, flew back over into the golf course, coming right straight for that same pond. It landed on the lily pad in the pond. About that time, a frog jumped up out of the water and ate the ball. And then a few seconds later, an eagle swooped down from out of the sky and grabbed the frog. The frog was scared to death. He spit the ball out. It fell down and hit the green and rolled a few feet right for a perfect hole-in-one. Moses looked over at Jesus and he said, "Man, I hate playing with your dad." So that's it. I hope y'all enjoyed those. And if I can find some more good ones, we'll have another one coming up soon. Thank you, and I hope everybody votes. And I hope that God gets the right man in office, whoever that may be. Thank you.